Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily NVIDIA report for Thursday, November 7th, 2024. Let's take a look at the charts. We can only show so much on the newsletter and the video. We have 8 charts, and so I don't really go back to the channel bottoms and the speed line that contained roughly the selling pressures a week ago. We have this buy signal, though. This is old information from a couple of days ago. Having settled above the 136.11 descending channel top, we're now anticipating 155.43 within a week or two. We'd been expecting it within 2 to 3 weeks, as you may recall anyway, above support at that time that was in the kind of the lower 130s and climbing. We don't show it anymore. What happened also yesterday, following the buy signal above 136.11 on Tuesday, we've got the Wednesday rally and settlement above the 143.71 high settlement price, or I should say previous high settlement price, that now acts as support, and above which by the end of next week I do see 155.43 in reach. On the way up, there is kind of the swing count. We use these Fibonacci. This isn't Fibonacci, but it is a swing count. In other words, A minus B times 50% or half that distance. You add it to A, and you get 150.58. You can do 1 3/8, 1 5/8. We do them all. All these swing counts. We're always looking for how these line up with line studies and such. But for right now, we've got 150.58 that we're comfortable offering as day resistance, likely to be reached today. On the way up, we have these minor points, of course, 146.58, 48.27. But 50.58 could be it for the day. We could have trouble up here. If we close today above 150.58, then we should tomorrow reach our objective at 155.43, which on the weekly chart comes in at 158.97. And I've been mentioning how this should be considered kind of a wide yet gradually narrowing and rising range of long-term resistance. The 168.74 formation is a one-year channel top. This zone able to contain buying through the first quarter, and these two channel structures do, by the way, converge later in December. If we were to close above 158.97 sooner than later, then we would see 168.74 as our next really 1 week target, a 3 to 5 day objective above 158.97. But we're not going to see that level today. We may see it by the end of next week. In fact, I think we likely will see it by the end of next week above 143.71. Now, downside, the breaking or opening below 143.71 does allow 139.30. That is a gap closing move to the high here from a couple of days ago. And if we close today below 143.71, we have a good weekly high. And over the next few days, we should fall to 136.11. Now, 136.11 is dropping at a pretty good pace. And really what I would anticipate if we close below 143.71 is by the end of next week, 133.05. So in my book, a failure to follow through on a buy signal, which we see here above 143.71, a secondary buy signal, I should say. The primary buy signal was a couple of days ago when we settled above 136.11, and secondarily was Wednesday settlement above 143.71. But if we close back below 143.71, I do think by the end of next week or sooner, we could fall to 133.05, which is our new channel support based in part on yesterday's high. It is a multi-week level. I do think it can contain selling through the rest of November, and from here we can round back up into the mid 150s. Now, we don't have them on both charts, but I will say that you can buy the lower 130s and climbing if given the opportunity over the next week or two in anticipation of upward rotation then into what is now the mid 150s and climbing. And the inverse is also true. I think you can sell the mid to upper 150s if given the opportunity over the next week or two, and we're likely to see that in anticipation then of bearish rotation back to some variation of this 133.05 channel bottom. Now, this channel will get reconstructed and reconstructed for every new high, and it will have a steeper pitch if we push onward and upward as we're expecting. Then it will be more like in the upper 130s or mid 130s, and we'll be apprising you of its location on a day-to-day basis. It is what I call the dynamic approach to trend identification. Right now it's 133.05. 133.05, and if over the next week we were to close below it, we have a good high for the rest of the year, actually. This is our downward pivot point into December. If we were to close below 133.05, it is the 110s we would anticipate within 3 to 5 weeks, but we're nowhere near that. And in fact, while we're talking about this big picture support, I want to go back to this image and just mention that if we push into the mid to upper 150s over the next week or two, and that is expected again above 143.71, you can anticipate, you can trade this. Now, we wouldn't have it as an objective, but some variation of this channel bottom in the 110s, then likely to be in the 120s because we would have to reconstruct it. But if we push into the mid to upper 150s, you can anticipate then the possibility of meaningful bearish rotation by the end of the year, perhaps, into what is now the 110s and climbing. So if we push into the mid 150s, mid to upper 150s over the next week or so, and if you're an options trader, for instance, you might reach for 120 strike out of the money puts that don't expire for at least 3 months or so, because that would be the big picture play. Of course, if we were to close above 155.43, we are then expecting within several weeks that 169.75 long-term channel top, which comes in at 168.94 on the weekly chart. I threw a lot at you here. I hope you're able to absorb it all. I'm going to leave it at that. Please click like, share, subscribe. Check out wickedstocks.com. Take advantage of our 5-day free trial. We did put out a stock pick on Wednesday, Coinbase. You might want to check it out. You can see it for free by signing up for wickedstocks.com. We're going to have another one going out in the next day or so, 2 a week. Daily Triple Q, daily SPY analysis, weekly Apple, so forth and so on. Check out wickedstocks.com. I will be back tomorrow with Friday's NVIDIA report. You have a great day.